Hey y'all. I got a spiritual message to get out. I was gonna see if I can go back down here. You said I just need that code to hold on. Damn, what did I do with my cigarettes? I'll put them in here. I gotta get this message out. This shit is crazy. Let me see here. Hi everybody. What's that code? 2121. Nope. Not. You can't. I can go out the. I can go out the front. Hi. Long time no see. You said 1 2 1 2. Okay. Nice. Okay. Okay. This shit is crazy, y'all. Uh. Oh my God. For those who know me, know that I am working nights, right? I had a lot on my plate today, trying to move, trying to get into a new place. So I didn't really get no sleep today. While I was working, or when I got home rather, um, I was sitting there, kind of, you know how like when you tired, you're in and out. I hadn't laid down yet, knowing that I couldn't really go to sleep, right? Because my son had a game today and things like of this nature. So I was like kind of in and out of it, very tired, sleepy. Like I just said, I was just in and out of it. When I'm sitting there, the TV's on, right? It's shit always happens when I'm fucking minding my business. Okay? This shit's crazy. No bullshit. But I was sitting there, kind of zoned out, spaced out, and I began to hear this voice in my head, right? So I'm listening. Okay. But I did receive a message, and the message was it's pretty much another way of especially as women, showing self love to oneself. Okay, loving who thine are. That's what I heard. Love who thine are. Okay. Well, hi. Oh, it's Miss Sleeper Girl. well, I was sitting there, and what happened was I started receiving these visions. And I have seen this like documented, it was a documentary a few years back, and it was based on how you doing, Miss Libra? You doing okay? Well, I was watching this documentary some years back, and it was talking about how they supply, hi, Peace and Honey, how they see a cricket. They go a cricket. You probably can't see it, but anyway, um, how they get the human. It's human hair. I'm speaking of the human hair. Okay. Well, they take these little girls in India, and it's like a spiritual ritual. Okay. They take these little girls in India, and they sit there and they pluck these babies' heads. Okay, strand by strand in this lake, river, or whatever they in. And during the time that they're doing all of this, they're giving. This is like a sacrifice for them. They do this for, they pluck these babies' heads for this hair, for their hair, as like a form of receiving blessings, right? So by the end of the process, these babies have to endure all this pain. They have to endure all, it's torture. Somebody just sitting there and plucking your hair out of your head. Okay, now get this. Get this shit. Well, they do it for prosperity, blessings, okay? So during the time they doing all of this, it's a ritual. And they're giving praises to their gods, okay? So they take this hair after they've sent this baby through torture, these little girls through torture, cleanse the hair, condition it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, pack that shit up. Now it's in the Chinese stores over here. Okay, that's how a lot of our black women are getting their weaves and things of this nature. Okay, but by the end of this process, what's crazy is these babies' hair look just like, especially this woman over here that's got that scab all in the front of her hair. Okay, so now they ship that shit over here. Black women wear that shit, but what's the thing about it is, as us as women start wearing this shit and depending on this stuff as a form of being beautiful, when you should really accept and know that you're beautiful for who you are and what you are, okay? So you got women that will go to the extent of traveling, getting this hair weave, getting their hair done, getting this stuff sewed in. A lot of women feel like they're nothing without it, or they're not beautiful without it, or you know what I'm saying. They don't feel like they're about nothing if they don't have that hair weave and that hair done, right? It becomes a part of them. What people don't realize, when you start taking stuff to another level, like you got to have it, you ain't nothing without it, you then begin to give worship to whatever this is that you feel makes you beautiful, okay? To the point you will sacrifice anything by any means necessary to acquire it. Like I said, you got women pay high price money for this stuff to get this sold in. You know what I'm saying? To the point you got even little white women doing that. They got beautiful hair. Not saying we don't either, but I'm just saying that effect and flow that we are, to me, is what we're oppressed to wanting to be. You get what I'm saying? It's almost like if our hair is not straight, if it's not long and flowing, we don't feel good about ourselves. So the kick is, you begin to put so much effort and energy into feeling like you are nothing without it, to the point you'll do anything to get it. It becomes a form of practice, okay? So you get our women who wear these hair pieces in their hair, they neglect who they truly are as beautiful women, and these are the results that you get, okay? Now here's another kicker. When women go through this ordeal here, I'm talking about the women over here, go through this ordeal to the point where they're losing their hair, behind it, it becomes their sacrifice. They sacrifice who they are for beauty, okay? So therefore, When a woman has sacrificed her natural beauty and for who she really is, uh, the little girls that went through this suffering and the families that put these little girls in over there in India through this suffering becomes their blessing. You get what I'm saying? Their suffering, the little girl's suffering, becomes a blessing to us because it makes this hair and stuff makes women feel beautiful over here. You know what I'm saying? But when the results come out where these women's hair become bald and scabbed, it becomes the Indians' family blessing. Your suffering then becomes a blessing to them. They get their wish. And guess who suffers in the long run? The women that have worn this weave and have neglected self-love and self-care become bald, come down with alopecia. So now we got black women running around looking like the little girls who has had their hair plucked. This is how the little girls' heads are left looking after they've plucked their hair out, all scabbed up. Their suffering becomes your suffering. Start loving self. They are praying to their gods when it comes to these rituals that they do on these little girls, and you got to realize that wearing certain things and certain rituals been done over them. Practices have been done over this hair and stuff like that. There's bad spirits on it. Them little girls had to suffer through that. They had to suffer through that pain and torture just for a lot of women over here to feel beautiful. And then when you get women over here who lack self-love and self-care, these are the results that you get with these women on these pictures. And not realizing that as well, that this hair has a bad entity on it. So now you're walking around with hair that is cursed. And you're cursed too. Because you have taken someone else's suffrage to make yourself beautiful. So now you got to suffer. Because you didn't give any regards on how or what it took to get it. I don't know if y'all getting me or not. The little girls had to go through suffering, pain and suffering, for someone else to look beautiful. And in turn, their pain and suffering becomes your pain and suffering. That hair is cursed. They're praying over demonic gods, false entities, to receive blessings. And then you wear it. And your suffrage become their blessings. Start loving self. Putting that time and work into self. But what's crazy is after I received this message, I looked up real quick, and this blue looking I didn't even know the damn name of it. Didn't know the name of it. Was standing in my daughter's room, looking at me, giving me this message. Okay? I didn't know what the fuck it was. Excuse my language. I didn't know what the hell it was. Didn't know. But this creature, I don't want to say creature, but being, spirit being, was standing behind the wall in my daughter's room. And when I looked up, it frightened me and it moved. And I asked, what was it? And this is the name that I received, the Arcturians. I think that's what what they said. If I spelt it right, I got chills. But learn to love self. Don't walk around and be proud of how you look and feel due to someone else's suffering, because it'll come back on you. And these are prime examples of women who have neglected self-care and self-love to look like something they are not. Okay? I think that, like everything goes back to balance and moderation. I think if you want to wear hair weave and things of this nature, that's cool. But don't let it be where these things make you. Don't let it be where these types of things make you feel like you need it to be somebody, and you don't. Loving who you are is the most important thing. Like I said, those little girls go through suffering when their hair is plucked to be sent over here. And then you take delight. Hi, Kimberly. And then you take delight and glory and glorify your beauty that's not even your natural beauty due to someone else's suffering. You most definitely will reap the consequences behind it. They do this over in India so they can have prosperity and good luck and all these things, but not really realizing the spiritual nature within it. Just remember, you're doing these things like this and you're wearing all this hair weave, and just don't neglect you. Don't forget about you. These things these things are not what make you beautiful. You're beautiful just the way you are. Like I said, to the point, even white women are doing it now, wearing wigs and weaves. I remember a few years back, I used to be really into the Kardashians, and that little chick Chloe wore, her boyfriend Scott brought it out, talking about how fake she was and how she wore $10,000 hair extensions. Well, before you know it, the girl had to put her hair up in a bun because she was starting to go thin. Her hair was thinning out. And she's got a head of beautiful straight hair, not being appreciative of who you are and the way God made you. Over exaggerating yourself as a form to feel that you're beautiful. That's bullshit. You shouldn't have to do all that extra adding and all that crap for no man to look at you, or that's bull crap. So just remember, do things in moderation. Yeah, if you want to wear hair weave, like I said, like we are taught and we learn, free will. You do what you want to do. But just remember, don't neglect you and don't forget about you in the process. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if remember people had those grills back in the day. People sleeping with that shit in their mouth. They neglected their teeth. Now their damn teeth falling out. These things make you feel like you somebody. And it shouldn't be the case. Should no grills, hair weaves, eyelashes, lipstick, foundation, concealer. None of this bullshit should make you feel like you better than who you already are. And don't take pride in someone else's suffrage, because then you'll suffer what they suffer. Girl, thank God I am not. Hi, Miss Soul. I can't pronounce her first name. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not into trends either. I sure ain't. Now, don't get me wrong, I will throw on a wig every blue moon. I have glued hair into my head, but it's not a part of me. Like I said, these women who make it like they're nothing without it, or they're not beautiful without it, you know, they got to get it done every month, every week. That becomes a ritual. You got to watch what you put your energy into. Now you giving praise and worship to hair weave. To hair weave makes you who you are. Not God, but hair weave makes me beautiful. He already made you beautiful. Acceptance. Accepting who you are, loving who you are, being appreciative of how our Heavenly Father made us, doing things in temperance, moderation, balancing things out, but always remembering to incorporate that self-love. Like real talk. But that was the message, you know, not appreciating who you are, using material possessions to feel validated. Girl, they do it. And I've heard some travel to Atlanta and New York and St. Louis just to get hair and get their hair done. Girl, it turns into a form of practice, a form of worship, forms of rituals, you know. And the only rituals you should be doing is for the Heavenly Father. Getting up praying, meditating every day. That's a ritual. At least you're giving it to Him and not self perfection, you know. Like, for real, get out of here with that. And then loving yourself and how you look. Do the hair weave when a little girl in India had to go through hell just for you to look beautiful. But anytime a woman come down with alopecia over here, loses her hair, loses who she truly is, they get their blessings. And then now the women over here got to go bald. But you know what? That's a lesson within itself, because now you ain't got no choice but to love who you are. Because you didn't do it when you had all that shit in your head. You didn't truly love who you are. Now you bald and you have to. You ain't got no choice but to accept, having acceptance now. Because you didn't accept it, or you didn't accept how God truly made you. The Arcturians sure did. Was in my daughter's room, standing behind the hall, and I seen that head. That's what scared me, was that big ass head. Like, what the hell is that in her room? And I could have swore it was like, I know this girl is not up. I went in there to look. She dead asleep. So I know what the fuck I saw peeking behind the wall. It was one of these creatures. They don't know. They don't know what they have given up to get it. Who gave up what to make you beautiful? But it's when you neglect yourself and your self-love and your self-care for something that's not real, is when you begin to suffer. Like I said, don't let someone else's suffering, you know, make you feel beautiful. And I don't think a lot of people know that. What another person, what these babies have to go through in order for women over here to look beautiful. plucking them babies' heads. It's terrible. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm in working with the Alzheimer's today. I didn't see a light or anything that I could turn on or the torch. So it's supposed to be like a blackout message. But I just wanted to share that with y'all. Yeah, I saw that Chris Rock's Good Hair. I saw that movie. It was good. It was good, but a lot of people don't want to hear the truth in certain things. Free will, you got free will. People continue to do what they do because it makes them feel good, but in the long run, the very same thing that make you feel good can be your suffering, you know? And that's weird because, I guess it's the flesh. Anytime that you sacrifice who you really are for a facade, that's the flesh. It ain't got nothing to do with the heart. Okay. Ain't got nothing to do with the heart condition. It's your fleshly desire and not really loving who you truly are. For real, it can be a bad backlash. Real talk. But I just wanted to get that message out. It's sad. Start loving yourself. Putting that time and effort and energy into self and not not valuing or putting so much energy in valuing the things that are damaging to you. And some of these women that had to go through this and came down with alopecia and things, I'm sure that they didn't even realize that they were going to be stricken with this type of disease, first starting off. But some of the videos that I watched, I was asked to watch these videos by the Arcturians. This shit is crazy. I watched it. I was advised to watch it. I watched it and I'm thinking like, wow, this all stems from lack of self-love, self-care, lack of self-appreciation, on how our Heavenly Father created and designed us, pretty much. Like I said, do what you want to do, but learn to do it in moderation and remember to take care of self. But that's my message. If it resonates, it resonates. If it don't, it don't. But I was told to put it out there. And when I was getting ready to put it out there, it was 12/12. I've received this message before to put it out, but I was being very apprehensive about doing it. Because I know how we are as women, especially black women. Don't want to hear you. Don't mess with the weave. Okay? Don't touch it. Don't mess with it. I don't want to hear it. But if self-love was truly there, you wouldn't need all of that. You wouldn't need all of it. Point blank. Be careful what you put your energy into. Be careful of what you practice, because what you practice can become a form of worship to other deities, false gods that other people worship, So, oh my God, this shit is wild. But, everybody have a good night, good evening, and I'll be back with videos. What's today, Friday? I got to get some sleep. I got a lot of stuff on my plate, trying to move and things of this nature. And I was thinking about doing some free readings tomorrow if you guys would like. When I get home, I'll probably be on about an hour, then go to bed. I gotta get some sleep. But yeah, that's the message. Love y'all. Take care of yourself. Appreciate yourself. Love yourself. Love, peace, and light.